What are you looking at me that way for? Hey, you big fat head. What's the big idea? In 1962, a reporter found Hollywood's biggest star pouring drinks in a Manhattan hotel. She was using a fake name. Just 20 years earlier, she'd been America's highest paid actress. The government once asked her to change her hairstyle because it was killing women in factories. Her co-stars called her the and refused to work with her. But the real tragedy started when she was 10. Her father exploded in an oil tanker, and that was just the beginning of a darkness that would follow her forever. She was born Constance Frances Marie Aukelman on November 14, 1922, in Brooklyn, New York. But from the moment she came into the world, her life was filled with sadness. Her father, Harry Eugene Aukelman, worked on oil tankers and was gone for long stretches. Her mother, barely in her 20s, was left to raise her alone. The family didn't have much money, and little Constance grew up without the steady love of a father. She later said she was a tomboy who liked boxing gloves more than dolls. That wasn't just childhood play. It was a shield, a way to cope with the emptiness. Then at just 10 years old, tragedy hit hard. Her father died in a horrific oil tanker explosion in Pennsylvania. It wasn't just a loss. It was violent, terrifying, and final. Suddenly, her mother was 27, a widow, with no money and a traumatized daughter. The year was 1932, and the Great Depression made everything worse. Within months, her mother remarried a man named Anthony Keene, hoping to build some kind of stable life. But the wound from her father's death never healed, and the new stepfather didn't make things easier. Even as a child, Constance struggled in ways no one fully understood. Her mother later revealed that doctors diagnosed her with schizophrenia. Back then, that diagnosis came with little help, just stigma and confusion. In desperation, her mother enrolled her in acting classes in Hollywood. She believed the stage might calm her mind, but it wasn't therapy. It was a trap, putting a fragile, mentally ill teenager into the chaos of show business would only add fuel to the fire. The family kept moving. They chased health, hope, and fresh starts across the map. After Anthony Keene was diagnosed with tuberculosis, they moved to Saranac Lake, New York, then Miami, then Beverly Hills. In just 5 years, they lived in at least 6 different places. Each move meant leaving people behind, starting over, trying to pretend they were a normal family. But Constance never really belonged anywhere, and the ruthlessness followed her like a shadow. As a teenager, her rebellion took shape. She was expelled from Villa Maria, a Catholic girls' school in Montreal. No one knows exactly why. Maybe she broke rules. Maybe she just couldn't take it anymore. Afterward, she made up a story that she studied medicine at McGill University and planned to be a surgeon. That wasn't true, but she clung to it. It gave her control over a life that never made sense. Later, she even apologized to the university president. He laughed it off. But for her, the lie revealed something deeper. Her need to escape reality through fantasy. In high school, now living in Miami, she was known more for her looks than her grades. She entered beauty pageants. She even won the title of Miss Florida. But then they found out she was underage and stripped her of the crown. It was her first taste of fame. End of scandal. The pattern was starting. Success, followed by collapse. By 1938, she was 16, living in Beverly Hills and enrolled at the Bliss Hayden School of Acting. This wasn't just any school. It was MGM's training ground for young talent. Her mother was Alan, doing everything to make her daughter a star. At the school, Constance met Gwen Horn, another aspiring actress. That friendship would change her life. One day she tagged along with Gwen to an audition at RKO Studios. Constance wasn't even there to try out, but somehow she ended up with a small part in the movie Sorority House. Her scene was later cut, but it didn't matter. Director John Farrow noticed her. He was mesmerized by the way her blonde hair fell over one eye, giving her a mysterious, unforgettable look. He remembered her even if the audience didn't. Then came the transformation. Producer Arthur Hornblow Jr. was looking for someone to star in I Wanted Wings. He saw her screen test and was immediately struck. But Constance Keene didn't sound like a star. He renamed her Veronica Lake. He said her eyes were calm and clear like a blue lake. The name stuck. That same year, Hornblow pulled strings to get her out of her RKO contract and signed her with Paramount Pictures. It was a big gamble. Paramount was a top-tier studio, and they were putting serious money and effort behind this new teenager with the hypnotic eyes. It paid off. I Wanted Wings became a hit, and before it even came out, the press called her the find of 1941. With sudden fame, Lake stayed strangely grounded. She told reporters she didn't expect her success to last. Only the older actors keep on a long time, she said. I'll go back to medical school. At the time, most saw that as humility. In hindsight, it was hauntingly accurate. Because just a few months later, her first major scandal exploded. While filming Sullivan's Travels in mid-1941, Lake was 6 months pregnant and hiding it. No one on set knew she wore corsets. Legendary costume designer Edith Head made loose, fitting outfits just for her, but her condition became harder to hide. Joel McCrea, her co-star, had been struggling through the shoot. In scene after scene, he was asked to carry Lake. He complained that she felt heavier than expected. Stewart snapped at him, saying he was weak. McCrea was confused and embarrassed. When he learned the truth about the pregnancy, his embarrassment turned to fury. He refused to speak to Lake. He only talked to her through others. After filming ended, he swore he'd never work with her again, and he meant it. McCrea was offered the lead in I'm Married a Witch, a major role. He turned it down just to avoid working with Lake. Frederick March took the part instead. McCrea later told friends, "Life is too short for two films with Veronica Lake." That comment spread through Hollywood like wildfire. And because McCrea was known as one of the nicest, most easygoing actors in the business, it stuck. From then on, directors and co-stars approached Lake with caution. By late 1941, the Peekaboo look had taken over America. Life magazine called it a cinema property of world influence. In its November 24th issue, the magazine devoted